Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out for such a momentous occasion, for such a wonderful opportunity to celebrate our children. My name is Nichole Dawkins. I'm the chairman of the Human Relations Diversity Board for the city of Ocoee. And this is our 15th annual Black History Essay Contest ceremony. So that's an awesome thing all by itself. When you become a parent, one of the first things that you want to do is pass down all the awesome things that you have learned throughout your lifetime. Not everything you learned, we keep back some of the college days and, some of the high school stuff. But the city of Ocoee is partnering with you to pass down those awesome things. When we grew up, there were things that we wish we could have changed, things that we wish weren't so. And the type of things that we do here in this board with this essay contest is giving the kids an opportunity to talk about some of those issues that we've dealt with growing up as kids. And what would they do to make a difference? What would they do? Because they are the doers. They are the future. They will do it. And we want to help you do that with the children. Okay, so I'm pleased to be here tonight to recognize the outstanding achievements of our students. And I would like to begin by thanking the students, the parents, friends, family, teachers, and principals who support our children every day. Give yourselves a big round of applause. This year we received 180 essays to read, so it was a great turnout, and the theme of our essay contest was Achieving My Dream. Each of the students who wrote essays should be proud of themselves, especially those who are going to be recognized tonight. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce the city's Human Relations Diversity Board and just give you the names of the volunteers who work really hard to judge these essays and select the essays that are some of the essays that you're going to be hearing tonight, which was not an easy task. It's really hard to, put one over the other because they put so much of their heart into these essays, and we got to learn about what they were dealing with in their everyday lives, which was an awesome thing to be able to see. So our board members is Dr. Kathleen Crown, who's our immediate past chairman. She was ill and couldn't be here tonight. We have Ira Calloway, our past chairman. William Maxwell, past chairman, who was also one of the founding members of the Human Relations Diversity Board. Larry Brinson Sr., Jay Carr, Billie Jean Daly, Dr. Sandria Foster, who was not able to make it here tonight, Lori Hart, and Paul Hershaw. So thank you. And at this time, I would like to thank the Ocoee City Commission for allocating the funds to make this essay contest possible. I'd like to introduce our elected officials who are here tonight. We have Commissioner Rosemary Wilson, Commissioner Richard Firstner, and Commissioner George Oliver. I'd also like to welcome our Orange County Public School Board member, Melissa Bird, who's with District 7. And would any of the commissioners would like to come up and say a few words before we get started? Yeah, no? Okay. Thank you. Okay, so again, we'd like to thank our elected officials and who continue to support all the things that we do here at the Human Relations Diversity Board. I'd also like to recognize Al Butler, the Director of Support Services in the back, and thank him for his support of the HRDB. I'd also like to thank Joy Porter Wright, who is our Community Relations Manager, and also coordinated tonight's program. We couldn't do it without her. And also, actually for Chick-fil-A, they've donated a whole lot of awesome Chick-fil-A stuff as well to all the children. So, definitely. And in the future, if you'd like to find out more about the Human Relations Diversity Board, we are on the city website at www.ocoee.org, or you can talk with me or past Chairman Ira after our event tonight, and we'd love to give you more information about how to join. Okay, so let's get started. We are going to start out with announcing the third place winners that we have, and if you would come out, we have some have a certificate and some goodies that we'd like to give you. Okay. Start off with Citrus Elementary School. We have Jaida Dale. And Jada's teacher is Mrs. Bailayesi Soto, if she's here tonight.
All of this is
Thank you, Jaida.
like Christmas again.
Third place for Hope Charter School is Noah Williams. Thank you, Noah. Third place for Thornebrooke Elementary School is Ethan Rathman. Thank you. And just a side note, the reasons why with some schools we have third place and some we don't is because the amount of essays that came from that school. So depending on the amount, whether we had a third place or not. So for second place, for Citrus Elementary School, we have Duvali Fisk. Thank you. Second place for Hope Charter is Yanessa E. Phillip. Thank you. Second place for Maxey Elementary is Marley Cherry. It's nice seeing the kids because as I'm remembering some of the essays, I'm seeing the personality. Yeah. Second place for Ocoee Elementary School, Magnum Leonard. For Prairie Lake Elementary School, second place, Maya Grace Henderson. Thank you. Second place, Spring Lake Elementary School, Claire Dial. Dial. Okay. Second place, Thornebrooke Elementary, Noah Kaminsky. Okay, so with the first place winners, when we call your name, you're going to come up, take your picture, but we'd also like for you to read your essay so that we can also hear that. And I believe the first place winners got a $50 Best Buy gift card along with everything else that you're going to get as well. So, okay. First place, Citrus Elementary, is Elijah Taylor.
You have your essay? You have your essay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Get you to stand right here.
Okay.
After here.
Okay. Do I read it now?
Yes.
Okay. Achieving my dream essay by me. Achieving my dreams means trying my very best. I always work hard and try to do things the right way. I'm only 10 years old, but I understand that for me to achieve my dreams in life, I will have to stay positive and work hard. By staying positive and working hard, I will achieve great things. Staying positive is very important so you don't get too stressed out. An example of someone who stayed positive is Mrs. Catherine G. Johnson. Mrs. Johnson was a mathematician at NASA. Her calculations were very important to the success of the first manned space flight. During her time at NASA, segregation was illegal, and she was not always treated fairly. She had to do her very best work and stay positive and do the right thing, even though it was hard. She continued to work hard because she knew her work was very important, not only to her, but to the entire country. When Mrs. Johnson was a child, she was very smart, and her parents wanted to give her the best chance to be the best person she could be. In order for her to continue her education, she and her parents had to move so she could go to a school that went past 6th grade. I think her parents wanted the best for her, and they knew that moving would help her do the best she could. At the time, they did not know that she would be such an important person in history. While working at NASA, Mrs. Johnson faced several challenges. Other people that worked there didn't think she could do the work because she was a woman of color. She proved them wrong. She could do anything that anyone else could, and sometimes even better than they could. I'd like to focus on staying positive and working hard. I know that hard work pays off in the end. When I was younger, I wanted a new phone. My parents said I could have one if I got all A's on my report card. I worked hard to achieve this. Sometimes I didn't get the best grade on a test, but I had to stay positive and work and try hard. But I had to stay positive and try to work harder. I kept working and got all A's and my phone. Now that I have my phone, I keep my grades up so I can continue to use it. Sometimes I don't do well on a test, but I stay positive and study harder so I can do better on the next one. Sometimes being in elementary school can be a challenge. There are a lot of distractions, so staying positive when things don't work out the way you want them to is very important. My mom says that if I continue to work hard and stay positive, I will achieve great things when I grow up. In conclusion, I know that I'm only 10 years old, but if I try my best, stay positive, and never give up, that I can achieve any and all of my dreams. If I can do it and Mrs. Johnson can do it, we can do anything we put our minds to.
Okay, thank you. First place winner for Hope Charter Elementary is Kenzie Souza.
Hi, my name is Kenzie Souza, and I'm 11 years old, and I have a dream. My dream is to put an end to bullying. Bullying is a huge problem in all grades and ages. I think that we need to stop bullying because bullying is causing people to become depressed, sad, or even worse, to commit suicide. You might think that there is just bullying in elementary, middle, and high school. You would be wrong, because adults get bullied too. All people can get bullied, even kids, even adults, and even the elderly. Over 3.2 million students are victims of bullying each year. Did you know that 160,000 teens skip school every day because of bullying? There is two types of bullying. There's direct and indirect. Direct bullying is when somebody bullies you to your face. And indirect bullying is when somebody bullies you online or spreads rumors. Bullying can happen in any number of places or locations. Sometimes that place is online or through a cell phone. About 35% of students say that they have been threatened online. Experts say that 75% of shooting incidents at schools have been linked to bullying. I have my own experience with bullying. It was both direct and indirect. The person that was bullying me was calling me names to my face and also talking badly about me to other people in school and online as well. I told my mom, and she was able to speak to my teacher and the mom of the person. Things did get better. We can stop bullying by saying kinder words to each other and by treating people how we want to be treated. Also, speak up, whether it is to speak up about yourself being bullied or somebody that you know. Let an adult know what is going on. Take time to speak to somebody that may be sitting by themselves or are always alone. Be inclusive. Ask someone to sit with you at lunch or play at recess. You will never know the positive impact you may have on someone by simply being kind. Dr. Martin Luther King was kind, and we should follow his example. Dr. King said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." Just like Dr. King, I have a dream that one day all people can be kind to one another and come together with all of our differences and get along. And there's no more bullying.
Okay, thank you. First place winner for Maxey Elementary School is Kilea Foster.
Achieving my dream. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream for all people to live in peace. He wanted all people to have equal rights and to live in harmony. However, Dr. King faced many challenges, stereotypes, and even served jail time. Dr. King still intended to fight on and achieve his dream. Just like Dr. King, President Barack Obama also wanted all people to live as equals. Dr. King and President Barack Obama have inspired me to achieve my own dreams. My dream is to work hard to make this world a better place. People all over the world suffer daily from things such as poverty and bullying. Our planet is slowly being destroyed with pollution and litter due to our negligence. We only have one planet and it's our job to protect it. If you have a dream, the best way to achieve it is to make a plan and set goals for yourself. I like to start groups that spread awarenesses about pollution, violence, and bullying in hopes of helping to put an end to them one day. I want to help raise money for people living in poverty. The United States has one of the strongest economies in the world, yet according to U.S. Census, 39.7 million people live in poverty. As Dr. King once said, there is nothing new about poverty. What is new, however, is that we have the resources to get rid of it. It's time for us as people to come together and help one another and protect our beautiful planet. Achieving my dream is going to require me to go to college. I want to follow in Barack Obama's footsteps, become a lawyer, and then a politician. Who knows? I may very well become the first African American female president. One day, I hope to help make laws that would protect our planet and provide the necessary resources for those living among poverty and violence. People often turn a blind eye to bullying because they feel it's none of their business. When I become a politician, I will fight to make sure laws are in place for every school to properly educate and empower students against bullying. Just like Dr. King fought on to achieve his dream, I will fight to achieve my dreams. I will not allow anyone to put me down or discourage me. Maya Angelou said, "Each of us have the power and responsibility to become a rainbow in the clouds." To me, this means I owe it to myself to work hard to achieve my dreams and to fight to overcome any obstacle that stands in my way. I'm willing to put in work. Are you?
Thank you. First place for Ocoee Elementary School, Payton Hardy.
Have you ever wondered Have you ever wondered what you wanted to be later in life when you grow up? Well, I have, and I've got a few choices to help me later in life to lead to success. To begin with, for about 6 to 7 years, I wanted to be a ballerina because I love to dance all the time, every day. An example is I might start dancing in line at school. Actually, I do that a lot. However, I also wanted to be a teacher at one point. I was influenced by my mother, whose dream and passion was to teach children to learn and other things like their subjects, to figure out how to understand the work she gives them and get better at it. But for me, neither of those jobs are for me nor my passion. In life, being a fashion designer or even a hairdresser or something close to that might be perfect or just fine, but as long as it's something I love to do with my life. Additionally, I'm going to achieve these goals by listening, practicing my drawings, putting in the work and effort, doing it properly, working harder to improve on the work I get, and just keeping my head up, not stressing out, not having mental breakdowns, paying attention, focusing. I know I can do it. Furthermore, when I first started thinking about what I wanted to be, I had no idea what I wanted to do. But on the other hand, my family had a few ideas for what I could be. One of my sisters thought I could be a therapist. The job of a therapist is to listen when someone else feels down or just to listen if they're not feeling down. I didn't think that job would be right for me for multiple reasons. Another opinion was being a chef. The job of a chef is to cook the food, which I do a lot at home, and to make sure the food is good, kind of like a taste tester. I do taste the food at home a lot, but I didn't think that job was right for me neither. Then one of my sisters recommended I should be a fashion designer because while I was thinking about what I wanted to be, I was making an entire fashion show on my paper, and that's what they do. They draw and sew and do everything I'd love to do all in one job. At first I thought I'd have to get multiple, but when they recommended that, I thought it was perfect, like the job was just made for me. Finally, I want to figure out what I want to be in life for sure because I might just change my mind again and figure out how I'm going to get there and why I want to be that and how I achieve these goals. When I figure out what I want to be for sure, I will be very grateful. Also, when I achieve these goals and get where I want to be, I will be very, very grateful and amazed what I can achieve, the little or lot of effort.
First place, Prairie Lake Elementary School, is Rylee McCulley.
Dr. Martin Luther King had a dream that his sons and his daughters would be treated equal to Caucasian children. He dreamed that all races would be treated equally. I believe that in America we're getting closer each day to achieving Dr. King's dream for his sons. However, I do not believe that his daughters are being treated equal to his sons. I do not believe that the different genders are treated equally. My dream is that boys and girls, men and women will be treated equal. Women and men are not treated equally in the workforce. According to a 2018 article in Money Magazine, a woman earns only 80 cents for every dollar earned by a man. From state to state, men earn between 10 to 30% more than women. If you think this pay gap is because men are in professions that require higher education, then you're wrong. In 2017, CNBC reported that women are more educated than men for the first time in history. Enrollment of women in college outnumber men 6-1. In fact, the study goes on to report that as the level of education increases, the pay gap between men and women also increases. The study reported that in 73% of American households, husbands out-earn their wife despite their level of education. Unfortunately for Dr. King's dream, this pay gap gets wider for African American women and their spouses. How is this possible? Is this the America that Dr. King dreamed of? If you think the workforce is the only place where women are treated unfairly, you're wrong again. Women are treated unfairly in sports across the nation, from little leagues to professional sports. Women's sports are frequently put on the back burner to men's sports. In 1972, Congress passed Title IX, a federal rights statute that banned educational institutes from discriminating based on gender. Under this law, schools are supposed to treat men and women's sports equally. It has had a dramatic effect on the amount of money and resources that go into women's sports. However, we aren't anywhere close to achieving equality. Attendance levels for women's sporting events and media coverage on the events are nowhere near that of men's sporting events. The NCAA reports that the attendance level for women's basketball games is around 1,500, while the attendance for men's professional sporting events is around 5,000. The question surrounding why men's sports are more popular than women's sports always comes back to whether people don't watch because they aren't interested or because there isn't better coverage. Most people I know have had the opportunity to attend or watch at least one men's professional sporting event, whether it's basketball, football, or baseball. However, I do not know anyone who has attended a women's professional sporting event. Do you? A few of my friends and I play basketball at a local recreation center. The number of boys in the league significantly outnumber the girls who play. Not only are we outnumbered, but no matter how good we are, the boys never make us feel as though we are part of the team. We constantly must prove our worth as a team member. Today, we still hear young boys taunting each other by saying, "You throw like a girl," or "You run like a girl." We still pass road crews with signs saying "men working," when I clearly see women on the work crew too. We still refer to police officers and firefighters as policemen and firemen. We must begin to treat women and men equally in all areas. We must let go of outdated stereotypes of the past. Women and girls should have the same opportunities as men and boys. Until the day comes when inequalities between boys and girls and men and women in America vanish, my dream and Dr. Martin Luther King's dream will not be achieved.
I see some future politicians. First place for Spring Lake Elementary School is Adriana Romero.
Achieving my dream. Just like Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream, he inspired people to have a dream. Martin Luther King Jr. fought for the civil rights movement and brought peace without violence. Secondly, Martin Luther King Jr. inspired me to be a photographer or a leader like Martin Luther King Jr., but I am already a leader to the little ones by being a safety patrol, helping teachers put colors in the planners at my elementary school. I hope they are leaders to other little ones. Another thing is, future me hopes that I go to middle school, high school, college, and graduate to get my diploma, be able to turn my future cap to the left, throw my cap up, and graduate in white, or like my sister who graduated in black. Thirdly, future me doing all of these things. Something I hope to do is to go to UCF or volunteer college like my sister. The reason I would like to go to UCF because it is closer to home. I can still spend time with my family and friends. I can also make my family proud. Another dream I have is to do photography because it is what I like to do. And 3 different types of photography that I like: fashion photography, landscape photography, wildlife photography. How cool. Best part, you could travel to place while doing these things. Traveling can help me achieve my dreams by visiting different types of places and taking photos of animals, events, and even landscapes. Traveling can also help me by meeting other famous photographers who can help my career achieve. Another thing is you can't achieve your dreams without a goal. My goal is to be a successful photographer, be happy, and to be proud of who I am. What's your goal? Martin Luther King Jr.'s goal was to end regular desegregation and segregation in the United States. You might be asking yourself, how might this girl achieve her goals and dreams? Well, you have to believe in yourself, have faith in you, don't give up, have a positive attitude, and if you fall, get up again and keep trying. Even though Martin Luther King Jr. was successful, he had a lot of people who doubted him. People didn't like how he did everything peacefully. he stuck to his dream and didn't give up. Martin Luther King Jr. inspired, cared, helped us by giving a speech about a dream of his. Thank you, Martin Luther King Jr., for doing all of these things.
Thank you. Okay, so for our last essay reader, this one happens to not just be first place for Thornebrooke Elementary, but this is our overall winner. So we take all the first place together, and we deliberate and deliberate and deliberate, and came up with what we call the overall winner, which will get everything the first place winner gets, but also a $250 Best Buy gift card. And if you can't figure out what to do with it, you know, I am here. I'm a really good mentor, so let's put that out there. And this individual, which did just, it's a beautiful essay, and I'm looking forward to having him read it. His name is Christopher Forsyth.
Martin Luther King Jr. was an African-American preacher who stood up against the Jim Crow laws in the United States. He did not approve of segregation because black people were not treated as fairly as white people. Black people had really bad schools. Martin Luther King's dream was for no one to be judged by their color. He wanted people to be judged on their character. He went on multiple marches against the Jim Crow laws that separated white and black people. In his famous speech, he said that he had a dream that his 4 children would not be judged on the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream too. I want to be a police officer. I'm 11 years old and half white and half black. I had a bumpy beginning in life. When I was born, I lived in a homeless shelter and then lived with my birth mom and dad in several motels. I went into foster care when I was a baby. My birth parents had a lot of problems with the law. I had bad asthma. When I was 6 months old, I went to live with my new parents who adopted me. My birth mother had 7 children that are in foster care. I barely know them. My birth father has at least 3 children I have never met. My adoptive mom and dad loved me a lot. They taught me to be a responsible, loyal, and help others in need. My dad and I enjoyed watching live PD together. We would yell at the screen saying, "Get 'em, get 'em." My mom and dad took me to all school events and fundraisers. They also took me to Cub Scouts where I learned about doing my duty to God and my country. In August, my dad died a little bit before I went back to school. I had trouble doing my work because I was unfocused. I'm still struggling, but thanks to my teacher, Miss Kaminsky, and my mom, I'm still getting good grades. I know that if I continue to get good grades, I could grow up to be a police officer and make my dad proud of me. When I am a police officer, I will help my community. I want to take bad guys to jail to make the world a safer place. When I am a police officer, I will help people who are in danger. I could rescue someone who is being held at gunpoint, or I could help someone who has been in a car crash. I will protect people's properties by stopping robberies and break-ins. Being a police officer will also benefit me. I will make good money so when I am old I could take care of a family and have a nice house. I want to be able to afford food. It is a job that I will always have because there will always be bad guys.
Oh, that's a mouthful.
What an amazing story. Thank you for sharing that with us. That took a lot of courage. That's amazing. One thing I did like in that essay is that he mentioned his teacher, and I think that has to be the most underpaid, least respected job that has so much influence. It's almost akin to a parent. That's how huge that job is. So, and I know I have 5 kids that are going through school right now, and if that's not their other mommy, I don't know who is. With all the hours that is spent, it's a beautiful thing. So we do want to recognize the teachers. So if you are a teacher here tonight, if you would please stand. Thank you. And we would also want to recognize the principals as well. So if you are a principal, will you please stand? Okay. We want to thank them for supporting our essay contest. We want to thank you also for just the communication that you teach your children every day, how to read, how to write, why the A has to come before the E, and just all that other stuff that I don't remember. And I would also like to thank again our elected officials for holding this essay contest each year, for allowing the funding so that you can get such awesome prizes and not just like a $10 gift card, which none of us want. So it's amazing that they keep helping us and giving to us each year. And before we leave, I also want to let you know that the city of Ocoee will be posting on YouTube this entire ceremony, so you'll be able to share it with your family and let them see what your student has done. Okay? And as we wrap up, we do have some refreshments in the back. Please take some so I can keep telling them why we need to get more every year. So please eat it, because it makes it real hard during the committee meetings when I keep asking for more cookies. So before you leave, if we can also have all the students come up with the elected officials as well, so we can take a group picture. Thank you and have a good night.